Hi guys, my name is Micaiah, and this is just a little bit of my story of how I came to know Jesus. So, I was raised in a ministry family, and I was blessed to have extremely loving Christian parents. I entered a relationship with the Lord when I was 5 years old, and I believe that I've been saved since that day, but I don't think I figured out what a relationship with the Lord really meant until much later in my life. So I can remember times in elementary school where I would maybe tell a lie or say or do something I knew was wrong, and I would literally ask God to come into my heart again, as if He already hadn't when I was saved. And this was kind of a problem because I wasn't believing that God's forgiveness was real for me. I was really afraid that I wasn't going to go to heaven, so I just thought that I had to keep getting saved. And so I didn't really understand that God was enough for me. And so this pattern of not thinking that God was enough for me continued into my middle school years. And I started to feel this void in my heart. So I yearned for a relationship. And instead of filling that place in my heart with God, with my relationship with Jesus, I started to fill it with boys. And so I found my fulfillment from worldly relationships instead of my relationship with Jesus. And this was just a really dangerous place to be. As I entered high school, this cycle continued of running to boys to fulfill me instead of Jesus. And before I knew it, I was really consumed in sexual sin, and I was constantly comparing myself to other girls, other people, because I wanted boys and other people and friends to like me more than I cared about Jesus' opinion of me. And so that was just a really bad place for me to be in. And I found myself going to summer camps or retreats, and I would have this emotional high, and I would feel very sorry for my sin, and I would want to change. I would genuinely want to change, but it wasn't long before that emotional high would just wear off, and yeah, I was just right back to square one. So it really wasn't until this past summer that God really began to expose my need for Him to me. So I kind of started to figure out what a relationship with God truly looked like. I was always told what a relationship with the Lord should look like. My parents were amazing examples of walking with the Lord, and I have other people in my life who were tremendous examples of that as well. But this summer, God put me through a time of unexpected singleness and loneliness, and He kind of stripped me away of that idol of relationships that I was putting before Him. And it started to reveal to me how much I truly needed the Lord. It wasn't until I finally came to the point where I realized that Jesus was enough for me regardless of whether I had those relationships or not. It wasn't until I came to that point that I really figured out how to have a relationship and how to have a life in a relationship with Jesus. So I was trying to add religion for my whole life. I was trying to add religion to my relationships, and I wanted my relationships, my worldly relationships, to look a certain way. I was just trying to add Jesus to that, when I should have been pursuing my relationship with Christ first and foremost, and letting Jesus, the one who died on the cross for my sins, to consume my heart first. So yeah, I still doubt my need for the Lord, and I compromise for sin all the time, daily. But because of God's grace and His patience with me, I now know that relationship with the Lord is so free, so fulfilling, and it's so much greater than religion.